In this video, I'll show you how to install new R packages or update existing R packages. So the first thing we're going to do is get a file from Dropbox. You should already have this from your ICT session, but if not, we'll just go ahead and download that. Okay, and so I'm just doing that outside of the screen. You'll see that there it is. So this is going directly into my downloads folder. You can either check your downloads folder if that's mapped to your Docker container when you open it up. If it is, you're all set. If not, you can just go ahead and drag this file over here somewhere and then open it up and use it. Okay, so let's just go ahead and use this file. And there's a bunch of stuff in here that we don't all need, but this has a bunch of stuff that it can be very useful. So I'm going to go all the way down to the following line, which is line 51, 52, and I'm going to want to execute some R commands. So what I've done is I've opened up a terminal here on the right. You can do that through the menu for your application. So here at the top on Mac or on Windows, you would see something like terminal. You can't see it in this particular screenshot, but it is there. You can say terminal, open new terminal, or you can press the keyboard shortcut, which is Control and then backtick, and that will open up or close a terminal. Okay, so in here, I'm just going to type in R. It's going to open up R. And the first thing I'm going to do, like I said, is execute a line. And so I can do that with either Control Enter or Command Enter as the keyboard shortcuts. You'll use this a fair amount when you're using R. And you'll see that when it spits out the results for libpaths, these are the paths or directories that R will use by default to install new packages. Now, this directory is inside the Docker container. Okay? And so that means that if I install packages, when I restart the Docker container, the information will be gone. Okay? Now that's by design. Right, so Docker, when it is reset, it resets back to the original settings because that makes it possible for you to explore and do whatever you want in the Docker container. And when it gets restarted, it'll just be fresh, unbroken, no problems whatsoever. Now, what we want in this instance is to install an R package and then have it accessible anytime in the future that we restart the Docker container. Okay? So what we want is we want to add another path to the libpaths command, and that's going to allow us to install in a user directory, a personal library, if you will. So where is that located? According to the system, where is that library going to go? Well, it turns out that that's going to be in a special directory that I created for MSBA, which is in the home directory .rsm r431. Okay. Now, that currently is not known to R. It hasn't been used before, so we need to initialize it. Okay, so here is a command to create a new directory. Where's the directory going to be created? That is coming directly from the system environment information, R libs user. Right? That's the default directory where we're going to create a new folder, and there we're going to end up installing new packages. Okay? All right, so that directory has now been created. Let's check just to see if it is indeed available. So we can use dir exist. There we go. And this is auto-completing, that's nice. And let's see if this directory indeed now exists after we've run that command. And it says, yes, that is available. Excellent. Okay, now let's check to see if libpaths now has this new directory. And it doesn't yet. So how do we get it to show up? Well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to stop the R process. And we can do that with Q and then parentheses, or Control D will also work. So that stops the process. I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. And now I'm going to run R again, and then I'm going to try the libpaths command again. All right, so now the first directory that we see, there's two now. The first directory that we see is the one in our home directory. And so that means that whenever we install a package into that, it will automatically go to that directory, and then when we restart the Docker container, it's still going to be available. Okay. All right, so I'm going to install this package, Fortunes. And you can see already in the terminal, it says installing. I'll just make that a bit bigger so you can see a little better. There we go. It says installing packages into 431. Okay, so that is a way for you to update install a new package inside of the that is accessible from inside the Docker container. Okay, now let's also take a look about how we could update a package. So there's an example here, and I'm just going to copy this and do something different with it. All right, so I'll just put this back up here, line 60. And so the command is the following. So there's an R package called remote that's already available. And I'm going to install an updated version of Radiant RStats Radiant model and see if there's a new one available. Okay, so let me just make this a bit smaller so we can all see what we're doing here. I'm actually going to add an argument here, which is upgrade never, which means don't mess around with any of the other packages, just install the latest version of Radiant model. Okay, and so we have remote is going to install directly from GitHub, which is kind of a nice feature. And let's see if we get that working. Okay, and so that is installing again into my home directory. So next time that I uh, or install, sorry, restart the Docker container, I'm going to see that package is still available. So in this case, that's Radiant 1.6.2. So if you want to do the same thing, I'll make sure to add this command to the description for the video as well. Okay. Now, what if I want to remove all of those packages? Right? I don't want to use them anymore. I want to make sure that they're not available. Well, then what I can do is I can go to my launch menu, which I have available here, and that's a little small. And I can say, clear RStudio session and packages. That's going to be 8. You want to clean this up? Answer is yes. Remove installed packages. It's removing locally installed packages there. You just saw that flash by. And so now we would not see, and we can actually go ahead and check that directory. Let's do that. I'll just go out of our R here for a second. Clean up cd.rsm. I'll just do the whole path so that you can redo this if you want. .rsm msba r. There we go. And you see there's nothing in here. Right? So we've removed that. Now just to see whether I can add this back in, and we'll see if it actually happened. Right? I'm gonna first need to give it R. Otherwise it's not going to know how to run that. So I'll run this again. This is installing this new version or the updated version of Radiant model. And again, it's installing that into their home directory that is going to be available next time you restart the Docker container. Just exit out of R again, and let's see. And there it is. Right. So that's how you start the process of installing new packages and updating packages as you go.